Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the Bull Take Scouting podcast. Today, we're welcoming on 2022 NFL Draft prospect and former UAB edge rusher Alex Wright. How you doing today, Alex?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Awesome. We're going to hop right into this interview. Our first question, when did you start playing football and what made you fall in love with the game?
I would say I started playing when I was like very, very little. Like I want to say like recreation league. I played until I want to say my fifth grade year, and then that's when I took a break and I picked it back up my sophomore year. So when I started loving the game like around the ninth grade, just looking at highlights, looking at everybody highlights, just and then being out here on Friday nights, just the environment. Like I want to be a part of the environment. I like football. Like so then the more I got comfortable, playing football again, the more plays I made, the more confidence I had. That's like, oh yeah, I could do this. Like it's fun. Like and on top of that, you can't beat the chemistry that you got in the locker room with the football players because it's nothing like being in the classroom with regular students. You're with your brothers. You know what I'm saying? You can you go on the war with your brothers. That's what I like most about it. That's what made me be like, yeah, I wanna do this. Like just seeing them go to war with each other against the opposite team. That's what made me fall in love with the game of football. Not only just the physicality, but just the off the field and how football players carry themselves. Just being with each other. Uh, Prime example, like a quarterback with his lineman, stuff like that. So that's what made me fall in love with the game of football, not just on the field stuff, but off the field stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially in high school, you form a special bond with a bunch of those players, and it's definitely fun. You're around your teammates so much. You go through, so much pain during practice, during off-season training. You definitely form a special bond, and I can see why, that's one of the reasons that you fall in love with football. And then, do
Yeah.
you have any favorite memories, maybe from high school, from college, from, any specific games that stand out to you?
High school, I want to say, I remember we played our rivals, and they brought in this freshman quarterback. The first string quarterback got hurt, and I remember like it was yesterday. They was throwing like a screen, like it was like a delayed screen, and I took off towards the quarterback, and I ended up hitting him like hard. So then in my head, I'm like, oh shoot, they don't call me target because at the time I'm 6'4". He's like 5'8", 5'7". He's a small quarterback, small little like not skinny. He's not meaty, just skinny bones. So I hit him, and I look at the ref. I'm like, oh shoot, like this is before I knew targeting was like you get thrown out the game in college. I didn't know like how they did it. It was just like a 15-yard penalty. So I'm like, man, I'm finna get thrown out the game. Oh my god, oh my god. So then yeah, I know you tall. The refs is just, ref knew who I was, based off like everybody knew who I was. So I seen him like outside of football games and stuff like that. I'll probably see him in the next city over, like going shopping or something. And he'll be like, yeah, and he's like, just make sure you just don't try to hit him, up high. I'm like, I'm trying. He's like, I know. So then it was just a 15-yard penalty. Then the same quarterback later on in basketball season, I didn't even know it was him. So he was like, hey, you were number 16, were you? I was like, yeah. He was like, bro, you remember when you knocked my helmet off in the game? I was like, wait, that was you? Like, so so it's funny when people remember like who I was all the way, and we're not even in football season no more. This is in the spring now, so that was like my favorite memory, like ever, like because I guess it just goes a long way when you just play hard. I guess I don't know, but it shows a lot. It shows a lot that people know who you are and stuff like that. So that's what's kind of stuck to me, really. So
And
Yeah, I
people did indeed know who you were because coming out of high school, out of Elba, Alabama, you had a multitude of offers. And so, what made you choose UAB over some of the other schools you had? You had a bunch of ACC offers like Louisville, Duke, Virginia, Wake Forest. So, why UAB?
it was just mainly it was the coaches. Shout out Coach G. Shout out Coach G. He was my position coach. He was like that lawyer. He was the lawyer dude. Not only him, but the coaches, the medical school, just the whole vibe in general. Not saying those other schools gave me that vibe like, yeah, I want to come here, but UAB gave me the vibe where this is my home away from home. This is my second home. Like, yeah, I love this place. Like, and not only that, the players made me feel at home too. So, and I seen myself and a whole lot of other players. Like, um, it was just the fact that it was the loyalty, it was the communication, it was the consistency that they kept. Like, they actually gave me the feeling that they really want me there. So not only not only it was just, oh, you got Power Five offers, buyers. No, no, that's not the point. That's not the point. There's pros and cons. They go into why I chose UAB, and the pros overweighed the cons by a lot, a lot. And on top of that, I didn't even know the program shut down. So it's like, now I got another chance to add the history. I could contribute to adding history to the program after they just like brought the program back. So not only I want to go to UAB to pursue my career, becoming like in medical and stuff, but I also want to continue on the legacy, win the championships like we did. I wanted to be a part of that factor with my teammates and make the city of Birmingham proud. So that's all. That's pretty much why I chose UAB, because that was my home away from home. The moment I got up there, and that's all it was. It was just consistency, loyalty. Like my coach, like Coach G, he would text me after every game. How did the game go? I knew it was a confirmation. Like, I'm going to UAB the moment I had a bad game, and me and him chopped it up for almost hours about what I did wrong, what I need to do, what I need to continue to get better on, and stuff like that. Like, he didn't have to do that. This is 12 o'clock at night. He didn't have to do that because they got a game now. They got a game the next day.
Mhm.
So that's what stood out to me. That's why I was like, yeah, this is my coach. This is who I need to coach. This is who I need to make me better. This is who I want to make me better. So that's the reason why I chose it.
And that also translated to you getting a lot of playing time right out of the gate your freshman year. And so it's obviously a difficult transition to come into the Conference USA as a freshman and make the impact that you had. And you actually led the conference in both tackles for loss and sacks among freshmen. So what made you be able to transition so quickly and have such an instant impact?
It was kind of the turns, like I was like got thrown, quote unquote, thrown into the fire, but it was I'm kind of glad it happened, because at the time there was graduating, I think 35, 36, 37 seniors. So
Mhm.
the spot right there, we needed some people to step up. So he already told me, like, after I signed, it was like, I'm glad you come in. So now we gonna have to get to work because you gonna have to play. So I'm like, what happened? He's like, yeah, we graduating 37 seniors, dude. Like, it's time to go. So the more I got it, like, coming from a 1A school at the time, it's not that big. It's not that big. It's not small. So I know, like, I had the goosebumps. Like, I was nervous. I was like, I never been so nervous before a game in my life. Like, when I first came, like, when we ran through the tunnel, I'm looking at, like, the just the crowd. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So then, it took me a minute to, like, to grasp everything. It took me a minute to get comfortable and get, like, adjusted, because I never seen anything like this in my life. Like, I never been a part of something like so big in my life, coming from a small school. So it was just the more the weeks go by, the more comfortable I got adjusted to the Division 1 program, like, basically the schedules and all that stuff. Basically the training, the nutrition, all this. I never been a part of it. So the more I bought in, the more positive things came out. So that's how I looked at it going into it, because I was nervous from when we played Bama State to playing App State in the bowl game. I'm more comfortable than what I do. Like, I see what's going on. I see things better. I understand the game a little bit better. Uh, I understand what's going on, what techniques to use, what helped me out a lot. So that's what brought me. That's what kind of pushed me. because when I was awarded all those, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like that only brought that only brought so much motivation to play harder and play faster and play, smoother and play, just looser. So that's how I looked at it.
And speaking of your freshman year, you were 6'4", 235 when you started at UAB. Now you're 6'7", 270 pounds. Obviously, that's a huge transition and a major thing to happen in college that you rarely see. So how did you adapt to having your body change that much, and how did that help your game?
I mean, the game, it was just I was already playing the plan was to already get that big, but I wasn't trying to get, that bigger, stronger, faster in a faster, period of time. I wanted it to build on and progress at the right time, So from my freshman year to now, I want to say I was 6'4", 235. To my sophomore year, I was 255 to 260. It was just around those off season periods to where
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of built it up really. But that goes along with the physicality, just getting stronger, getting faster. That's how me and my coach set it up. You're gonna have to eat certain nutrients. You have to eat certain foods. You have to drink certain protein shakes. You have to do this and that, this and that. So it kind of shocked me at one point because I would look at it like, shoot, I'm because people look at me crazy like, you 270. I'm like, yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, you don't know the half, bro. You don't know the half. So that's how I look. I'm still kind of reaching. I'm still just. It's kind of mind blowing, really, because people say, you too big to move that fast, bro. You too tall to move that fast. You know, I have a story time. Like I remember we was like outside, just having fun. We was outside having fun, and let's see what happened.
I think you accidentally put yourself on mute there. Yeah, you're good now. You're good.
Okay, so I was guarding the DB, and I'm keeping up with him. And he's like, and you got people on the sideline, bro. How you get that fast? I don't know. Like, so I trusted in the techniques and in the weight room, the speed training, all that stuff. Whatever I felt comfortable at, that's what I wanted to play at, and I had to, adjust if I had to move up. So I granted that to the nutrition. I granted that to my coaches and that department of our football program. So,
and
I think that's a great thing to take note of. I think you hear a lot of, college football players and people transitioning to the NFL. Some people say, oh, we'd like to see them put on 15 pounds or maybe lose 10 pounds. And I think a good thing to keep in mind is sometimes people are comfortable playing at a certain weight. And yeah, it might look better on paper if someone's, 10, 15 pounds heavier, but that might not translate to their play on the field. So I think that's something to truly keep in mind for, prospects and scouts. Just, maybe the extra 10 pounds won't be as beneficial as one might think.
I think that leads us into your strengths as a football player is that you do really have that great combination of size and athleticism. It helps you so much in your pass rush. You can really attack either the outside or the inside shoulder of the blocker. Really good pass rush moves. And so what, in your opinion, are really your biggest strengths on the football field?
I could give you at least 3 off that. My length, I say my length, my explosiveness, and just my motor. That was my motor. That was the main thing that I wanted to really like work on this season, because everybody's gonna play hard. Everybody's gonna get that one moment where they gotta coach, I need one. So I try to work as much in the off season as much as I did to improve my stamina, improve my just improve not being as tired as I was the previous seasons before. So, and like that's one of the main things I wanted to work on as a person, because I know that's what people like to see. It's not that often where it's very common where you see DB saving the game-winning touchdown. It's not that often when you see a lineman. You can see some linemen. It's common, but it's not as common as DBs. You can see a defensive end or a defensive tackle or a nose guard that's saving the game-winning tackle off a long run. So not only that, it's just that motor just running to the ball, making sure that I was at the ball. I was trying to find my way to the ball every chance I got, and I was trying to be in that area. If like one thing about Alex, you're gonna see him in that ball. Like wherever that ball is, that's where Alex gonna be. He's gonna be right there. No matter if the wide receiver catch him on a post route, I'm chasing him down because you never know what happens. Safety might not make time. You never know. So I made sure my motor was there. I made sure I worked as much as being explosive, where it was getting get-offs, as many get-offs before practice with my coach. And then my length, you can't teach length. So that's one thing. That's one thing coaches would tell me, like, you've been blessed to use length. You've been blessed to use it because not everybody has that. So the more I took that into consideration, like, you know, just using certain drills we do, like, and it's funny because in the games people be like, man, like, bro, like why are you so long? Like the tackles especially, they be like, I can't get up under you, I can't do this, I can't do that. And so that's why that's the main things I try to work on, just better like extension, better explosiveness, better get-offs, better, and then just my motor. That's one thing that I really like tried to put emphasis on.
And are there any specific areas of your game that you're looking to improve now as you turn to the NFL?
Oh yeah, and there's always room for improvement.
Yeah,
always. There's no ceiling when it comes to that. So I can work on my bending, my flexibility, my pad level, just increasing my hand quickness, being more aware, having more agility. There's room for everything, you know. So that's my thing. I try to take more cons and build them and, you know, work on them until they're pros, and then just keep improving and keep improving and keep improving. So that's how I look at it. There's always room for improvement, always.
You mentioned pad level. What does someone that's 6'7" do to work on keeping a low pad level?
I remember we have certain like, I can't think of what it's called, but it's like, it basically teaches us, you know, to make sure bend our knees, have more power. So I can't even think of what it's called, but it's like we have where we can move it around, and we would get like we as like defense players. I know at the D line we got under it plenty of times. So, and it would basically teach us, you know, you got to stay down. And it's funny because if you pop up, then your helmet is gonna hit the rail part. So that's how you know you're not keeping pad level. So we would do that all the times. We did that with get-offs. Coming out low. We did that with basically just the pre-practice part of it. That's where that came into place, because, you know, how our practice was set up. Now we're into, you know, scouts and stuff like that, going over plays and stuff like that. So we worked on that as much as possible. So that's what kind of helped me. I mean, I still, you know, have some certain times where I could pop up sometimes, but that goes with, you know, the improvement, just getting better and stuff. So I cannot think what it's called though. It has a real at the end of it. So if you pop up, you know you're wrong. So
yeah, that makes sense. And so turning to the NFL draft, you had a really successful season this year, and your team did too, 9-4 record, and that big win in the bowl game. Congrats on that against number 12 BYU. And now you decided to forego your senior season at UAB and declare for the 2022 NFL draft. So what went into making that big decision?
I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't an overnight decision. It took weeks, really, just to thought of it, because, you know, the decision, you know, from going from PSF Conference Player of the Year to being named to certain teams, you know, certain awards and stuff like that. So not only that, but my coaches, my position coach, Coach G, we talked about it multiple times. Like, how do you feel if so and so happens? You know, we looked at it. We not just going, yeah, you going to draft this year. No, you gonna stay this year. Nah, what if you get certain grades? What if you get a certain grade that you're comfortable with? What if you get certain grades that you're not comfortable with? What are you gonna do? So, you know, just getting grades back and just, you know, just basically betting on myself. I'm put it like that. So I feel like I can have a good grade and show the scouts what I can do, not just on the field, but you know, as a person.
Yeah.
So that's how me and my coach looked at it, and me and my family looked at it and stuff. Because it was hectic after the BYU, not only the BYU game, but before the BYU game, it was kind of hectic. And I would get so stressed out to the point where like I couldn't answer my phone. I had that because I had to take that step away, you know, just to get myself together, like, because it was a stressful decision, like it was stressful, but it was stressful for change and stressful for the better. But so something good, it was basically, I'm not a fan of change, but that's something I have to adjust and work on myself, because I never had plans of, you know, I was planning on getting a degree, doing 3 to 4 years and stuff like that. But, you know, things don't go as planned. Things only God knows what's going to happen. So I trusted in him. I just had to sit down and just talk and just had a conversation with him. Like, man, just show me what I need to do. I'm finna just go to sleep, and I'm just gonna put it in your hands. I'm gonna just wake up, and you just show me what it is and what do I have to do. You know, just that kind of conversation. So when I woke up, you know, the news I heard, I was like, yes, I'm kind of comfortable with these news. I could deal with that. So that's what kind of brought the decision out to go into the draft.
And now that you've made that decision, how are you going to prepare for the draft from now until April?
Just training, you know, the agent that I signed with, we're gonna go into down to Miami. Pete Bomarito has a training facility down there that I'm gonna train at, and it's just gonna be working just day and night, like a full-time job, just day and night. And they're gonna enhance my strength, they're gonna enhance my speed, work on 40-time compound drills, just the all in one nutshell. They're gonna just basically make me the best version of myself. So, and I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. I know it's gonna be a ball, but at the end of the day, it's business. This is something that can make or break my future. So that's how I look at it.
And, you know, going back to the first time that you heard you were an NFL draft prospect, obviously you said this wasn't your plan when you initially went to UAB. You said you were planning on finishing out those 4 years, getting a degree. Obviously, like you said, plans change. What was it like the first time you really heard your name being thrown around NFL draft circles? And, you know, now you're considered a top 100 draft prospect by some scouts. So what's all that feel like?
It's kind of mind blowing, really. Like, it was kind of a dream, really, to be honest, because where I'm from, people don't usually have a chance to get out and make an impact as much as I did. You know, having a chance to go to the draft, having a chance to actually get drafted. So it was kind of big, not only for me, but for my hometown and where I'm from, because the last person that really got into the NFL, made it to the NFL, was like in the 90s, 1991, I believe. It was early in the 90s. So not only I don't look at it as for myself, but I look at it for my hometown and community, because it's not that often where we had somebody make it this far. So it was kind of mind blowing, because I always had dreams to make it to the NFL. Now that I have a chance, it's like, oh my God, like it feels like a dream. It doesn't feel real. Like, my mom asked me when I declared, like, how you feel? I was like, feel like I'm floating on cloud nine right now. Like I just don't know. Like I don't know how to feel. Like I'm like, is this real? Like what's going on? Like it's one of those things where I could just like I was just at all like I'm like wow, like I'm speechless, just speechless. That's how I looked at it. Like that's how I went through that process because before the BYU game, after the BYU game, I was stressed, and then like once I made it official with my family, and then when I seen it, and everybody's like, "Bro, you do the player for jail?" I'm like, bro, you gonna make it? I'm glad to see that type of positive feedback. When it's like, how you feel? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like I'm happy. It was just too many emotions going on at one time. Like I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm anxious. I'm just nervous. That's how I felt. Like it was like I had that crazy feeling. I like it was kind of like an eager feeling. You get what I'm saying? So I can't wait. I can't wait to get to work. I really can. I really can't wait.
Draft day is going to be a special day for you.
Special. Like I said, not just for me, but for the city, just the schools. You know, I have to come back. Like every time I come home, you know, from a break from football season, I have to go to the football field and just sit there and just take a moment because it's a lot to take in. Really, it's a lot. You know, I have to just sit there on 50. I can remember where I tackled so and so. I remember where I scored this touchdown. I remember where, you know, just I can see where my mom was sitting. I can see where my family sits at. You know, just the crazy. It's just a whole crazy feeling all in one. So
it's great to hear all the love, support, and passion that comes into making your football journey be this successful. And now we're gonna wrap up with two last questions. Fun one to start with, and then an inspirational one to leave on. And so, who would you say is the best player, or a couple of the best players that you've played against in your collegiate career? Tough one.
Best players. Okay, you got Sensor from McCormick.
Yep, UTSA.
Mason Fine, North Texas.
Uh-huh.
My freshman year. Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
For one. Zamir White from Georgia. Let's see. I think his name is Juwan Jennings from Tennessee. He played for the 49ers now, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to go from freshman year all the way to now. Let's see.
Yeah.
You got I can't think of anybody else. I can't think of anybody else.
And that's already a really good crop right there.
Yeah, that's just me I can think of right now. But I'm pretty sure it was a lot of people I missed. Like,
yeah.
So.
And the last question that we always like to wrap up with is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received from a coach, a teammate, or even parents, a friend? What's the best piece of advice?
The best piece of advice I want to say is don't forget where you came from. Always stay humble. And stay humble, stay working, because it always could have been worse. That's and the last advice I can say is just take it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used that to the little bitty detail, whether it was a practice schedule, whether I would take it easy. I wouldn't say take it easy, but I would take it one play at a time. I wouldn't just worry about the whole game. I'll take it. We're gonna shorten it down from one play to one timeout to another play to one quarter. That quarter is over with. Now we in the second quarter. Take it one play by time in this quarter. Those are the main pieces of advice that I take with me. And ever since I took it with me, life has been easy as much as I made it, you know, because that's pretty much what I use. That's pretty much my dedicate. That's what I dedicate myself to. That's my motivation. That gives me the drive to push, to not only go out there and do what I do, but motivate others as well, because they could be in my position one day, and it could be hard for them. So the moment I started taking things day by day, the moment I started, just doing keeping that whole, all those pieces of advice as into one, that's what helped me to where I am today. So that's where I look at it.
I think that's great advice for anyone watching, both in football and in other walks of life. I think that's great advice to live by. And thank you, Alex, for coming on today, and all the best of luck in this crazy process that you've earned in every way. And we look really forward to watching you in the NFL at the next level.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. We'll be back with another episode